Hey, this is Kat Sproule from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on SYN FM.
You're listening to the Moshpit on SYN 9.7 or streaming online at syn.org.au. You're here with Stefan, and on the line we have Kat Sproule, the front woman from Horizon's Edge, a power metal sextet from Melbourne. Welcome to the Moshpit, Kat.
Hi, thanks, Stefan. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. You'll have to forgive me if I keep mixing up Horizon's Edge and Heavenly Realms.
Okay. That's all right.
So yeah, I've done it like 3 or 4 times. I just keep confusing the two. So
No, that's cool.
Awesome.
They're kind of similar. It's got a similar kind of vibe to it, I guess. So.
Yeah, that's right. Is it a day off for you or today?
No, I just worked this morning, so I'm done now. So for the day.
Pay the bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Save up for the next album, of course.
Yes, exactly, and touring and, all those fun things that go along with being in a band.
Congratulations on the release of your debut, Heavenly Realms. Is it your debut album?
No, we do have a self-titled album, but
okay.
This is our first album that we've really sort of pushed, I guess, so, yeah.
Is this like a label? Is this one on a label?
It's not at the moment, but we've we are looking and... Yeah, but we have done this one independently as well.
So how does it feel to have it out, and what has the response been to this album?
It's actually really, really exciting to have it out. We sort of started working on the songs about 2.5 years ago, and yeah, we were just really, really excited about them when we started writing. We just sort of had a really good feeling about them, so it felt really amazing to finally get them all recorded and have them out. And, yeah, the response has been amazing so far. We're really blown away. Just a lot of positive feedback so far, selling really well in Australia and overseas. So, yeah, we're really, really happy with how everything's going so far.
Excellent. So if we go back to the beginning, have you been singing since you were a young girl, Kat?
No, I didn't actually start singing till I was about 19.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I played instruments. So when I was about 8, I started playing violin, and then I played violin, then guitar, then bass, then cello. Then I sort of played piano throughout that as well. And then one day I was like, I really want to sing. And as soon as I started singing, I pretty much just put down all the instruments and focused entirely on that. So.
Well, you certainly picked a pretty hard genre. Power metal seems like it's quite hard to sing with all those high notes.
Yeah.
Big challenge.
It's definitely been challenging. I've put a lot of time and effort into practicing. I sort of started out doing classical and theatre, and then with the view in mind that I always wanted to sing metal. So it's just sort of, I've spent a lot of time sort of working on my style and how I want to sing. I had lessons in a few different genres, and then I sort of stopped having lessons and just started to listen to a lot of the singers that I look up to sort of develop, I'd say kind of my own style, but sort of just a bit of a mix of classical and rock and metal, I guess. Yeah, would sort of be where my style, I think, sort of sits nowadays.
So which were the musicians or bands that you look up to growing up?
Growing up, I was my parents listened to a lot of stuff like Pink Floyd, so I guess I listened to Pink Floyd. Metallica was probably the first metal band I got into when I was about 10. And then I sort of started listening to Guns N' Roses, Pantera, Black Sabbath. Then I discovered Iron Maiden, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then, so sort of that style of stuff. And then I think in about 2006, I discovered Dragon Force, and I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. So, yeah, and then from there I sort of went back a bit, discovered like Helloween and Hammerfall, and then Sonata Arctica, and yeah, it sort of snowballed from there. So.
Awesome. So, speaking of Helloween, you did a show with them recently, is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we got to open up for them last week in Melbourne, so...
That must have been a pretty amazing experience, right? If they one of your inspirations.
Yeah, it was really amazing. It was our first international support, so it just felt really good to, obviously with local shows, you sort of, you get people down there, but it's sort of, there's also a large amount of people that that don't get exposed to local bands. So I guess we were really excited to be, obviously sharing the stage with Helloween and just, potentially opening ourselves up to sort of hopefully finding some new fans. So, it was an amazingly fun night.
So how did the actual band form?
I joined the band about 4 years ago, but the band at that point was called Keys to Perdition, and there's only two of us, Eddy and myself, still remaining. About 2.5 years ago, we changed the name to Horizon's Edge because our style kind of changed and we had a couple of lineup changes. So, so it's sort of been a band that's sort of been growing and changing for about 4 or 5 years. So, and to basically what we are today. So, yeah.
Well, the album cover for Heavenly Realms looks absolutely amazing. So what can you tell us about that album cover? Anyone in the band designed that one?
Thanks for that. No, we had a guy from overseas called Aldo Requena. He designed the cover. I sort of obviously spoke to him about ideas of sort of what the kind of overall theme of the album was. We sort of said it's got a bit of a sci-fi feel to it. Obviously Heavenly Realms sort of speaks for itself, and I did say to him, we want something kind of colourful, and obviously we sent him some of the music, so we want sort of the sound of the music to be reflected in the artwork, obviously. So he came up with a couple of ideas and then a bit of bouncing back and forth, and we finally reached the cover that we have now, which we're just really, really happy with it. So
you think about maybe that angel in the cover could be like your mascot, like Eddy.
Yeah, actually, I guess it's one of those things where I sort of said to him, because he had the scenery, and I'm like, I kind of felt like we wanted an angel on the cover, just because it's sort of, I guess angels represent quite a lot, and a lot of what the music's about, and then he sort of had the idea of, because like the lyrics on the album, there's sort of a lot of about life struggles you go through. So he sort of said that like it was his idea to sort of put half the angel to be mechanical and the other side flesh. So it sort of represents a bit of our kind of battle these days, I guess, with a lot of the digital sort of world, and remaining sort of semi-attached to human emotions. So
now you have a show at November 14th at the Central Club Hotel in Richmond, Melbourne. So what can potential future fans expect from a Horizon's Edge show?
Well, obviously at the album launch we'll be doing all the songs off the album, which we haven't played all of them live yet. So and we hopefully might be working on a couple of other visual things which should be exciting, which I don't want to give too much away yet. So obviously we'll be launching the album, so we'll be playing the whole album, and then we've got a few other announcements coming this week in regards to shows. So so I guess people will have to check out our Facebook page and different online medias and stuff to find out about those. So I can't say too much right now.
I wonder if it's like an international tour. Nice little tease there.
Yes. So but we will be making some announcements this week, so which we're excited about. So yeah.
Oh, hush, hush. Before I was the Moshpit executive producer, I didn't know of any power metal bands in Australia. I know there was one, I think from, it was kind of an old one. I can't remember what they're called. But, just doing this, I found also you guys, Horizon's Edge, and of course there's Silent Night. So maybe there's something I missed. Well, what can you tell me about the power metal scene in Australia? It's
not too bad. It's not largely popular here. You've obviously got bands like Black Majesty, Lord, the Silent Night guys. It's one of those things. It's a bit hit and miss. Like there's definitely a fan base for it. It's just not massive here. Like even like Helloween, when they were here last week, they sold, I think it was close to 1,000 tickets. And they're sort of one of the pioneers of the genre. So, while there is definitely a dedicated fan base for it in Australia, it's not huge. So, but the people that are into it are very, dedicated to it. So,
fans can definitely check Kat Sproule from Horizon's Edge, her power metal band, at the Central Club Hotel in Richmond on November the 14th. Yep. And Horizon's Edge album. Nearly mucked up the name again. Second album, Heavenly Realms, is out now. So thanks very much, Kat, for coming onto the Moshpit. It's been fantastic. And what would you say would be your favourite song from the new record?
Oh, that's a tough one. It sort of changes every day. So I'd have to say, my favourite overall song would probably be... Actually, I'm going to say Life After Death, because it's sort of... Yeah, it's got, a mixture. It's got a bit of a mixture, and it's got the really fast, happy stuff, but it's also got a couple of moments in it which are sort of a little bit dark, so it just sort of gives it a bit of light and shade. So, yeah, I'd have to say that's probably one of my favourite songs off the album.
That's the song
That's
the song we'll be playing then after the
All right,
interview.
Cool. Thanks very much, Stefan.
Yeah. So we'll play it in the next couple of weeks because we got a lot of interviews to play. But it's going to be great. We're going to interview Silent Night too. So bringing the power metal back to Moshpit.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Because
Fantastic.
it's one of those things. It's like so many people that haven't heard power metal before. I play it to them, and they're like, "Oh, this is really good." I think if power metal sort of got out there a bit more, there'd be a lot more sort of fans for it. So.
Yeah, because it's like Iron Maiden in a way. But it's stronger and more crazy, faster solos and I love it too. Lately.
It's fun.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thanks so much, Kat, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
No worries. You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.